Hey, it's John McCabe. Welcome to the show. Hey, welcome to the John A. McCabe Show, where it's all about accelerating your authority in your business or field of expertise. And I do that by helping entrepreneurs, business owners, authors, experts, and speakers get seen, get heard, get noticed on any device, anywhere, anytime, within as little as 100 days, also known as the Authority Acceleration Blueprint. So what does it take to go from being an individual investor with 1 to 3 properties to controlling over 400 units and operating a successful real estate investing business that also includes training and coaching busy, everyday, hardworking people to build their wealth through real estate? Well, on today's show, we're going to get that question and much more answered by today's guest. Edna Keep grew up in a small prairie town in central Canada, never making more than minimum wage until she was 30. She spent over 20 years operating her own high-level mutual funds advisement practice before selling and moving into real estate investment full-time in 2009. Along with her husband, they, like so many others, myself included, invested over $30,000 with the Rich Dad Real Estate Training Company to learn real estate investing. Now in 2010, Edna was inducted into Tigert Learning Hall of Fame for taking action on the strategies that were taught to her through Robert Kiyosaki training. In her first 18 months, Edna had acquired 50 doors, and of the 5 inductees, Edna was given the number 1 spot. Now since then, Edna has gone on to author her book, Multiple Ways to Wealth, in 2013, and is currently working on a second book of student success stories. Now in 2014, she started creating courses and began coaching others to create real estate investing deals with other people's money. Now 2015 was when Edna was given the Top Player Award for Excellence in Real Estate by the Real Estate Investment Network. She is also the founder of Prairie Real Estate Forum and a founding member of Profit in the Prairies Real Estate Group. Now, Edna has a commitment to excellence when it comes to coaching others, entering into the world of real estate investing in a successful and confident manner. She not only teaches them, but provides them with the tools, knowledge, and resources to help them build both a network and a net worth. She does this by sharing in her experiences and expertise about raising capital, creating joint venture agreements, and earning passive income while using other people's money to build a portfolio. Edna is also committed to mentoring and fostering her clients towards a growth mindset of abundance and success surrounding money matters, investor attraction, and professional pursuits. So don't go away, because after this short video, I'm going to be joined by my guest today, Edna Keep. Hey, welcome back, and thanks for joining us today. Edna Keep joins me on today's show to discuss her authority acceleration and specifically what she's done since 2009 to build and grow her real estate investment business. Although I don't recall ever meeting Edna, but her and I ran in the same circles, in the real estate investing circles, went to the same training courses at the exact same time. So I'm sure that there may have been some times when we were actually in the same class, but being the proud introvert that I am, it doesn't surprise me that we've never met in a training class. And it wouldn't surprise me if we did meet, and I just don't remember because my memory's not the best either. But I've watched Edna's rise over the past few years, and I'm really looking forward to our chat today. So please give it up with likes, love, shares, and a virtual flurry of thumbs ups and heart icons across the screen for my guest today, Edna Keep. Welcome, Edna.
Thank you very much for having me, John.
How are you doing this afternoon?
I'm doing great. I'm quite excited to be getting on air with you.
Excellent. I saw that you were already on air. You were already on Facebook Live this morning. You were doing your Monday morning motivation.
Yes, I do. Every Monday morning at 10 a.m. I do a Monday mindset.
Monday mindset,
morning
right?
Mindset, yeah.
And then you go back on Friday, right? And you do some coaching.
Yes, I do free real estate coaching on Friday mornings.
Excellent. And this morning I was working on my script when you were actually online. I didn't go into participate in the video, the live cast, but you had quite a few people in there. You had lots of engagement. It looks like you were doing very well. And I've noticed, I've been on several of your live casts over the past several months. And I've noticed that you're gaining viewership and you're getting a lot of engagement.
I am. I've got a really good marketing team, and they convinced me to go on Facebook Live. It was a little challenging at the beginning, but now it's almost a habit, and I actually really enjoy it.
Yeah, it's so, a lot of people have that fear at the very beginning, like turning that camera on, whether it's one, they just not sure that they don't want to look stupid, or they just don't like themselves in the camera, or whatever it is. I mean, I've had that, when I first started doing live casting back in 2012, 2013, whenever it was I started doing it. And I was doing videos back in 2009, 2010 for my real estate investment business. And yeah, a lot of people, you just struggle when you turn that camera on, and you just, either you don't like yourself, or you're afraid you're going to freeze up or not know what to say.
Yeah, that's a big one.
which is why for the show I have an entire script, just so that I don't lose track of time, and I always know what to say at any given moment. So
yeah. That's a good tip. I actually do that too. I like, just in case, because sometimes you do tend to get off on tangents, and
especially when you're telling stories. It's so easy. Just start telling a story. I do this actually without being on camera. I'll be talking about something, and I'll start telling a story and completely go off tangent and forget why I even started that story in the first place and what the point was I was trying to get to. It's like, oh yeah, let's just forget about that.
Let's start over.
So Edna, I don't know if you watched the show or not, but one of the first things I like to do before we get too far in the interview is a speed round of questions. Now,
okay.
This is nothing that you had to study for. There's no test at the end, so don't worry. There's no right or wrong answers. But what I'd like to do is everyone that's watching at home, and please feel free to play along with Edna. Just type your answer in the comment field, and we can check out your answers, and you can compare your answers to what Edna has to say. So, Edna, are you all set to go?
I sure am.
And like I said, everybody at home, just play along. Just type in your answer to the question in the comment field. So the first one, Edna, what is name the book that impacted your life the most?
I would have to say it's Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. That was one of few that I've read more than once.
That's a very popular one on this show. I tell you that. The Bible is another popular one.
Yeah.
So when you were a young girl, who was your celebrity crush?
Oh, David Cassidy.
David Cassidy from the Partridge Family.
Yeah.
I think we're dating ourselves here, Edna.
Very much.
So, Edna, what is either a book, a podcast, or a show that you're into right now?
A book, a show, or a podcast?
Any one of those three that you're consuming right now.
Well, you know what? I just finished a book called Ask and It Is Given by Esther and Abraham Hicks. And I'm loving it. I want to reread it as soon as I just finished, so I'm definitely going to put it back and read it again.
Excellent. And Edna, are you currently working with any coaches?
Yes, I am. Yeah, I actually just came back from New York. I was down in New York for 2 days. I'm in a advanced leverage program on how to grow my business. Just putting all the systems and such in place with Fabienne Fredrickson.
Okay. And what's your favorite movie of all time?
Forrest Gump.
That's a great one.
I love that show. I love it.
Now, Edna, are you currently involved in any masterminds?
Well, I have my own that's running, that runs every year. It's into my third year now. But the training and leverage program that I'm in New York is a training program / mastermind. Because there's a lot of business people in there that I'm really learning a lot from besides a trainer.
Excellent. So name a person, either dead or alive, who you'd most like to meet and have dinner with.
Madonna.
Awesome. What's your favorite type of vacation? Is it a beach vacation or adventure tour?
An adventure tour.
And what's the best business advice you ever received?
If take your advice and get coaching from somebody you want to be like, not by somebody who just calls themselves a coach.
Excellent. And the last question is a two-parter. Now, if you're going to treat yourself, what would you treat yourself to? So obviously not what you consume regularly, but if you're going to treat yourself, would you treat yourself to water, beer, or wine, or pizza, wings, or salad? Out of those two groups, which one would you pick?
Wine and pizza.
Wine and pizza. Excellent. Excellent. So everyone give Edna some love by hitting that like button, love button, and make sure that you comment and on the speed round as well. I'm just going to do a quick peek in here, Edna, to see who's joining us and give some shout outs. I see that Jackie's here, Amanda's here, Chandel's here, Nobby's joined us as well. Amanda says, hey, John, hi, Edna. Logan Gerard's in the house as well. Welcome, Logan. Nobby's watching Billions. I just watched that last night, Nobby. Awesome show. Lawrence of Arabia. Logan says Tony Robbins. Nobby says leverage and wine and pizza. That's when Nobby's not drinking tea and cake, because Nobby's famous for his tea and cake. So if you guys have any questions that you want me to ask Edna during the show, just type them in the comment section, and I'll see if I can get to them before the end of the show. And if not, just tag either Edna or myself in the question in the comment field, and we'll answer it after the show has been completed. Or if you're just watching this on the replay and you have a specific question, just tag either Edna or myself in the question so we can get notified, and we'll come back and answer your question. And also, please like, love, and share this video on your Facebook feed, as well as in any groups and business pages that you manage. And if you're just joining us, I'm speaking with Edna Keep. Edna has a dedicated passion for helping new and experienced real estate investors grow their real estate business and build a passive income lifestyle that gives them greater financial options and opportunities. Over the last 9 years, she has grown her real estate portfolio to over 437 doors with a value of $47 million. While she continues to add doors to her portfolio, she now focuses her time on speaking to and coaching busy, everyday, hardworking people on how they can build their own wealth and opportunities through real estate. Edna provides coaching, mastermind sessions, and online training for her students and past students who combined have purchased over $100 million in real estate in the past 3 years. So like I said, if you have any questions you want me to ask Edna, just type them in the comment field and we'll get to them during the show. And if not, we'll answer them in the comment section afterwards. And as always, please like, love, and share this video on your Facebook feed, as well as any business pages or groups you belong to. So Edna, sorry, my script was stuck. So Edna, can you give the viewers who maybe don't know you, don't know much about you, a little bit about your origin story of who you are and how it is you got to the point where you're at today?
Sure. I come from a family of 8. I have 6 brothers and 1 sister, and I love coming from a big family like that. And I was born and raised on a farm outside of a very small town. And one thing that people may or may not know about small towns, there's not always a lot to do. And I found myself a single mom at age 16. So I think that's when I really started taking a look at my life and saying, okay, what are you going to do now? And, I kind of was in a series of dead-end jobs, never made a lot of money. But I liked the good life, And I always have people tell me, a close family and people who love me, Edna, you got to learn to live within your means. And I didn't want that lifestyle. So I decided, no, I was going to learn how to be wealthy. And over the years, I've managed to do so. So I've had many different jobs and careers, and I think every single one of them has led me to where I am today, because I absolutely love what I do. I tell people, if a single mom who never earned much more than minimum wage before she was 30, I lived in subsidized housing, had subsidized daycare, and if I can become a real estate millionaire, you know what? There's hope for everyone out there.
And when you find something that you're passionate about that you can make money on, one thing you'll never do is work another day in your life, because it does not feel like a job at that point in time.
That is so true, and I'm amazed every day at what I get to do. I love it. I love being surrounded by like-minded people who like listening to me. I was called a bossy kid when I was little. Well, now it's working for me. If I tell you what to do, do it.
So Edna, from the information that I received prior to the show, it sounds like you have 437 units. Now, are all those buy, rent, and hold units? And if they are, do you do any other types of strategies in real estate investing?
Our favorite is buy, rent, and hold. I love building up the passive income. That was always our goal right from the start. We've done a couple other things. Like we made an offer on a piece of land out just by Calgary that went into foreclosure that we want to develop.
Okay.
That one didn't go through. It was overfunded. There were some other people that had deeper pockets and were able to make it quicker. But we're always looking at different kinds of deals. And we feel like we have our our day-to-day stuff all taken care of. So now we're looking at different stuff. We're looking at, a friend of mine is looking at a shopping mall right now, and we're looking at, some life lease buildings. There's a lot of stuff that we're looking at.
Okay, so when it comes to the buy, rent, and hold strategy, what do you see as the top 3 skills required for that strategy?
Delegation is a big one. I'm not a person who likes to deal one-on-one with tenants and stuff. So I've got full property management. I have since day one, and I think that that's a big thing. And where it really bogs a lot of people down and gives them an inability to grow is by wanting to save that few $100 and doing their own property management. So that is probably the biggest.
Are there any others? And when you say that you did that from day one, do you mean that you started your own property management business, or you outsourced it to a different property management business?
Yeah, outsourced right from day one, because we realized that I heard it so many times, people saying, oh, I just don't want to deal with tenants and toilets. And I thought, you know what, neither do I. So I need to partner with people or hire it out. And we were able to do that. So that's a big thing. Joint venture with people who've got strengths you don't have. And then our strength has been raising the capital. So we consider ourselves some money partners on a lot of deals. Okay. And so, find your strengths is another one. You don't have to do everything. And really get to know your stuff too, because you can get burnt if you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, definitely. Understanding the numbers, being able to analyze a property, definitely focus on your strengths and find other people that will focus on your weakness, that their strength is your weakness. I think that's very key. I know that's one of the things that I did not do very well during my time in the real estate investing. I always ended up partnering with people who were more like me. Basically, they were the big picture idea person, or not even idea, but they wanted to do a lot of the same tasks that I wanted to do. Meanwhile, nobody's doing for me, it's detail. Nobody's doing the detailed stuff, which, yes. In this business, if you don't look after the details, you're not going to have a business very long. So being very clear on what it is your skill sets are and what your strengths are, and really, as you said, partnering with people who have their strengths are your weaknesses. And probably, as you mentioned, one of the biggest ones is joint venturing with other people, or being able to attract other people's money so that you can actually build. Because let's face it, we're not all born and have millions and millions of dollars in our pocket to invest. So if we want to grow a business, just like you've done, you need to find people who are willing to invest in the projects that you're working on.
Yep.
So if you guys are just joining us, I'm speaking with Edna Keep. Edna has a dedicated passion for helping new and experienced real estate investors grow their real estate businesses and build a passive income lifestyle that gives them greater financial options and opportunities. Over the past 9 years, she has grown her real estate portfolio to over 437 doors with a value of $47 million. Now, while she continues to add doors to her portfolio, she now focuses her time on speaking and coaching busy, everyday, hardworking people on how they can build their own wealth and opportunities through real estate. And it provides coaching, mastermind sessions, and online training for students and for current and past students who combined have purchased over $100 million in real estate in the last 3 years. So if you have any questions you want me to ask Edna, just type them in the comment field and we'll get to them during the show. And if not, we'll answer them after the show is already being aired. And as always, please like, love, and share this video on your Facebook feed as well as any business pages or groups that you belong to. And I just want to welcome Bonnie Boletsky to the show. Welcome, Bonnie. Thanks for joining us. So Edna, in your intro, I mentioned that you acquired 50 doors in your first 18 months as a real estate investor, which is very impressive, by the way.
Thank you.
So I have a multiple part question for you.
Sure.
So what was your biggest challenge to acquire those 50 doors in the 18 months? And how did you get access to that many opportunities?
Okay, good question. So when we started, we thought, okay, if we can make $5,000 a month in passive income, that's our goal. We set our goal actually as 5 years, and we thought that's aggressive, but we're going to go hard at it. So a couple of the things that we did early on is we spent money on education. Like, it's so important. We wanted to at least know as much as was humanly possible in what we were working on. And we took action. We took action on a lot of the things that we were taught. And another thing that we did is we met someone who started taking the same classes we did 2 years prior to us. And they had doors, they had houses already. And we're going, okay, we can learn from these guys. So one of the first things we did is we actually partnered with somebody who was senior to us, only a couple of years, but it made such a difference. We felt like they had the confidence in themselves to buy a house. We didn't. Mm-hmm. Let's partner with these guys, get them to show us. So they held their hands through a lot of stuff. And I think the stress of just having a partner and not having to do everything 100% yourself just made it easier for us. Yeah. And they would find deals. I was a husband and wife, and we would find deals, and we'd bring them together, and we'd hash them out to see if they were deals. And then networking, really networking and getting our names out there. So we got known fairly early on as people who bought and got deals done. So deals just started coming to us. We bought our first apartment building within that 18 months. So it's a 24 unit. So we were very excited about that.
Yeah, and I'm a firm believer in going out and networking, hanging around the people that you want to emulate, you want to be like. There's so many people out there. I go to a regular meetup group here in Edmonton. It's one of the longest and the largest real estate investing meetup group that we have in Edmonton, typically 70, 80 people every single month. And there's a common theme of the people that go there on a regular basis, and a lot of it is most of them or a lot of them just fail to take that action, or they have that fear of taking action and just doing what you did, connecting with a coach or somebody who is already doing what you want to do and working with them to get through that fear, because it's just a matter of doing it once or twice, and then it's like riding a bike, right? You'll fall off once or twice. You're scared at the very beginning. You fall down. Okay, you get back up. You fall down. You get back up. And then all of a sudden you're riding the bike by yourself, and it becomes subconscious. You don't even think about how to ride a bike anymore. And real estate investing, and just like any other business, is exactly the same way. You just need somebody to help you with the training wheels right at the very beginning. And then once you feel comfortable, you take the training wheels off and you go out and do it yourself. So kudos to you for doing that. I mean, most people, I believe, in real estate investing do that, follow that same path. they look for somebody to coach and mentor. But do you find it's very similar in your area when it comes to networking group? There's a lot of people that go to the events who just have not made that first step yet.
Well, that's really interesting, because just recently I had a couple students of mine that went to another city where they were at a networking event similar to ours in Regina. And because we run our own monthly event here, we kind of mimic what the RAIN group in Alberta does. And they said to us they couldn't believe the sophistication of our group compared to the other groups that they went to, that a lot of ours are actually taking action. And that could be that it's because it's a lot of my students, because I say, if you have to have an opportunity to network, so get on out to the meeting and get to know people. So they were really quite proud of themselves, actually, for what they've what they bring to the group, and what they see now as a group that they help build.
Right. So, Ed, what do you think are the top 3 things that an investor should take into consideration when they're going to take that leap from going from a part-time investor to a full-time real estate investor running a business? So what are the top 3 things that they should really consider before they actually make that leap?
Have your systems in place so that things are running smoothly. Make sure you have some money, because it's going to take, it's not always a smooth ride. And work hard on your mindset, because real estate is not an easy game. There's challenges all the time. You have to be willing to go through those challenges to get out the other side.
Yeah, one of the best pieces of advice I received. Unfortunately, I was not in a position to take the advice because I was given 1 day notice and I had to start my real estate career. But a great piece of advice that I was given that I'm going to pass on is, you want to wait until you're making at least as much as you're making right now at your job, consistently for at least 6 months. So you're still working at your job, but you're making the same amount of money as your job doing real estate investing in for a 6-month time frame, and bank that money. And then you're able to quit your job and go into it full time, because you're not going from a high income to a low income. You're staying at the same level of income, and you have 6 months worth of cushion should something ever happen in your real estate investing career. And you and I both know, Edna, things can happen when you're in this business of real estate investing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And for those of you who are just joining us, I see some people just joining us. I'm speaking with Edna Keep. Edna has a dedicated passion for helping new and experienced real estate investors grow their real estate business and build a passive income lifestyle that gives them greater financial options and opportunities. Over the last 9 years, she has grown her real estate portfolio to over 437 doors with a value of $47 million. Now, while she continues to add doors to her portfolio, she now focuses her time on speaking to and coaching busy, everyday, hardworking people on how they can build their own wealth and opportunities through real estate. Edna provides coaching and mastermind sessions and online training for her students and past students who combined have purchased over $100 million in real estate in the last 3 years. So if you have any questions, just type them into the comment and I'll get them to Edna. And if we can't get to them during the show, we'll answer them after the show. Just tag one of us. And as always, please like, love, and share this video on your Facebook feed, as well as any other business pages or groups that you belong to. So Edna, what markets are you currently focusing your efforts on to find opportunities? And specifically, what methods are you using to get or attract those opportunities in those markets?
You know, I attract about 99% of my opportunities through networking that I've done. We've gotten known as people who buy, people who can be creative, put together creative strategies, and people that can raise capital to do deals. Right. So I get lots of deals coming to me. Now, there was a second part to your question. Can you remind me
what markets are you currently focusing your efforts in?
You know, we really like Saskatchewan. There's a lot going on here. We are doing some stuff in Alberta. We're actually looking at buying an office building there that's being built. And Manitoba, right close to us. I've got some students there. They have found some really good opportunities there. And of course, we're always looking at Edmonton and Calgary. I think the market's just not quite where we want to be. Most of our properties are in Saskatchewan. And like I said, we still really like Saskatchewan.
So are you sticking in Saskatchewan? Are you sticking to the two main centers, that being Regina and Saskatoon, or are you going into some of the smaller hubs as well?
Mainly Regina and Saskatoon. That's where we have the majority. But, we bought 144 units out in La Ronge, Saskatchewan in 2012. And I generally stay away from the smaller centers, but it depends what's going on there. The La Ronge is the gateway to the north, and I'm from Meadow Lake, so it's out that direction anyway. And what you realize is it's a gateway to the north. There's not a lot of people that are going to live there. So there's room for lots of rentals. We've always got a waiting list. So we think that was a really good option for us. There's also some smaller towns close to Regina that we're looking at too, because of potash and oil, and which is a couple of our main resources here, and towns that are offering stuff in that area.
I think that's an important point for everyone to take into consideration, that when you start to move outside the major centers, you really have to look at the town or the area you're looking at investing in. What is the major employer? What is the infrastructure like? What is the economy like? Is there a draw to that area? Because there are a lot of places in Saskatchewan where they're heavy in resources. So there's very quickly Estevan comes to mind as a smaller center that's very quickly grown considerably because of the amount of resources that they've had there. And I'm not from Saskatchewan. I've not invested there, but I've talked to some people that have some connection to Estevan, and that was one of the centers that did see dramatic growth in a very short period of time.
Yeah, and you have to be willing to hold through, just like Edmonton, Calgary, you have to be able to hold through the times that are not that great either. So don't spend all your cash flow.
Now, which comes back to, you really have to know how to analyze properties properly, because when you're analyzing properties, you're budgeting so that you can actually weather those types of storms should things go up and down. But you want to be in an area where there's good, constant, consistent economic growth on a regular basis, or there is the resources or the employment that even if there is a small downturn, that they will actually recover and not turn into a ghost town.
Yes, yeah, that's so important.
So Edna, at what point do you recommend your current private clients they should reach before they, actually I already asked you that question. I had that question on there twice. So we were talking about at what point should they be at before they quit their job. But the second part of that, you touched on this as one of your answers. It's very important to have some systems in place before they take that plunge. Could you go into a little bit more detail as to what types of systems an investor should have in place for their real estate investing business?
Well, there's quite a few things that I notice that people fall down on. You've got to have a system for analyzing an area. You've got to have a system for analyzing your building. We have quick analyzation ways, and then there's the longer form. Like, you should be able to do an analyzation in minutes, actually, whether it's something you want to pursue. And then from there, we deal primarily with apartment buildings. One of the biggest mistakes people make when they're moving from houses to apartment buildings is asking the seller if you can go see their apartment building. Well, you know what? As soon as you do that, they're looking at you like, hey, you're wasting my time. Yeah. So know the business a bit before you start getting into it. There's things to say. There's a script to follow, and also reporting for your buildings. When you're dealing with investors, you have to have a reporting system in place. That's so important because you're dealing with other people's money nowadays. It's different than if it's just your own money.
Now, typically, do you have a system in place for attracting new investors, new passive investors? And so we'll talk a little bit about that system, as well as, do you have investors sitting with their money, waiting for you to find an opportunity so you're not scrambling for cash once you find something?
That's usually how I like to do things. I like to stay out of the securities market, so we don't raise capital before we have a deal. We put specific joint venture partners on specific deals. We don't just keep it as an open-ended. But I always know. I know who has money. Sometimes clients like short-term investments. Some are more open to long-term investments. So I'm always aware of that. We also always have an opportunity waiting if we're paying somebody out, So if we know that a deal's paying out the investors in the next 6 months, we know that we want to have something under contract when that money comes out. Well, we've built our whole portfolio, John, with 25 investors.
Wow, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
They just keep turning their money over and over?
Yeah. And keep them happy, so they keep coming back.
That's right. Why wouldn't you keep coming back if they keep making money? Now, Are these investors cash investors or RSP investors or a combination?
A combination. We have mostly cash because we deal with apartment buildings, but we'll do RSP stuff for shorter term things or even as second mortgages for something generally where we're taking the cash and putting it on another deal. Mostly cash, I would say.
Excellent. So if you guys are just joining us, like I said, we're talking with Edna Keep. Edna has a dedicated passion for helping new and experienced real estate investors grow their real estate business and build a passive income lifestyle that gives them greater financial options and opportunities. Over the past 9 years, she's grown her real estate portfolio to over 437 doors with a value of $47 million. While she continues to add doors to her portfolio, she now focuses her time on speaking to and coaching busy, everyday, hardworking people on how they can grow their own wealth and opportunities through real estate. Edna provides coaching, mastermind sessions, and online training for her students and past students who combined have purchased over $100 million in real estate in the past 3 years. So if you have any questions that you want me to ask Edna, just type them into the comment field and we'll get to them hopefully before the end of the show. And if not, we'll answer them in the Facebook comments after the show. And as always, please like, love, and share this video on your Facebook feed as well as any business pages or groups you belong to. And I just want to welcome Juanita Johnson to the show, as well as Sue Fun Lee and Ron Reese. So welcome everybody for just joining us. Like I said, we're talking with Edna Keep. So Edna, when it comes to accelerating your authority, which is what my show is generally about. So when it comes to accelerating your authority in the real estate investing space over the past several years, I noticed that you've taken a similar path that so many of us have journeyed down, that of being an author, a speaker, an educator, a coach. So do you recall when it was that you decided to take that path and what drew you to that path?
You know what? I was actually working with a coach out of Florida, and one of the things that he got across to me very, very, very clear is that you have to provide value to the world. And if you're a well-kept secret, you're not providing value to enough people. So he said, you got to get out, you got to get known, and gave me the different options. Of course, there's many more out there than I actually do, but Facebook Lives is a good one. Being an author is a good one. They say an author is the best business card you could ever hand out. Mm-hmm. And really just providing value, like letting people know the opportunities that are available to them and how they can actually do it themselves.
So out of the four paths that you've taken, author, speaker, educator, coach, which one was your biggest challenge, and which one would you say has increased your business or exposure the most?
I would say speaking. You know, even though I don't, I get on some stages, not a lot, but getting known through Facebook has been huge. Facebook and LinkedIn, people getting to watch your videos, getting an idea of the type of person you are. People really feel like they know you. And I'm just going to give you an example. I don't know if you would know, but do you know Brett Butt from the show Corner Gas in Saskatchewan?
Yes.
Okay. So one night, my husband and I are sitting in a restaurant, and him and his wife walk in. And I kind of go, and they don't really notice us. And Warren's looking, he said, yeah, definitely know them, and we can't figure out how we know them, but we know them, and we're kind of weirded out that they don't know us. And then I sat down and went, oh my gosh, that's Brett Butt and his wife. Of course they don't know us. We see them on TV every day. We think we know them, but we don't know them. And you know, that's what I'm noticing by being on Facebook Live, being on stages. People start to recognize you. They do start to recognize you as an authority.
Yep.
And it's educating and putting value out there for free to start with. And then they decide if they're going to follow you from there.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the quicker ways to establish yourself as the expert of authority in your industry. I know on last week I had a good friend of mine, Barry Schimmel, on, who created the program How to Get Speaking Gigs Fast. Him and his business partner, we're doing a 1-hour episode this week where they're launching their program, and it is one of the fastest ways to get recognized as the authority in your marketplace. Mm-hmm. Now, out of those four, again, which one was your biggest challenge for you to either start or work through or just do? So author, speaker, educator, coach. Which one was the toughest challenge for you to accomplish or to start? And then how did you actually overcome that challenge?
You know, probably becoming the speaker, because I think I'm an educator and a communicator at heart. I'm always sharing what I know with people, yeah. People close to me. And that's actually how I started coaching, just people close to me and stuff like that. But the hardest was talking to my phone when nobody's there, you know, doing the videos, because the coach that I was working with, yeah, I would go down to the training, and at break, he would tell us, now I want you to go out find a spot, and we usually were in nice, beautiful locations like Florida or Palm Springs or something like that. And he'd say, do a video in front of a nice space and tell somebody something that you learned this morning. So that was probably my hardest part. I would always do them because it was part of my homework, but I would get home and I wouldn't do them. Or I do one once a month, or I do one once every other week. And then actually my marketing team helped me, and they started getting me to do Facebook Lives, but they would come to my house and they would ask me questions, kind of like you are right now. Because if we're just in a conversation, I can talk all day. But trying to talk to a screen or something when there's nobody there, it was like, I just would always run out of things to say. So they would ask me questions and I would answer them. And I found that so easy.
Yeah, it's so much, doing this show is so much easier with a guest than, the first half of the season. There was times when I didn't have a guest and I would actually have to create a show and add valuable content to people's lives for an hour. So I got to come up with a topic, and then I have to be able to talk about that topic, in such a way that it's actually going to make sense.
Yes.
When I first started the show, I did a 2-week trial, just to go back a little bit. When I first started this show, I did a 2-week trial where all I did was I just turned the camera on and I sat in front of the camera for half hour to an hour. No script, no nothing. It's like, okay, I just got to figure out how I'm going to do this. So then I just started talking into the camera, and most of the time there was nobody there. So I'm just rambling on about anything and everything, just trying to not have dead airspace is all I was trying to do. Yeah. And I learned during that 2-week time frame that I really suck at hosting a live show. Especially if I'm the only one on there, but it's much easier if you have a guest, and then you can just engage in a conversation. But even with that, as you noticed, because before the show I sent you the show flow, the script. Every one of my shows is completely scripted, just so that it's a very has a lot of structure to it. Because as I mentioned off camera, one of the main purposes of this show is to create myself content. So it has to be very structured to get the end results that I'm looking for. So I agree with you, like being a speaker, especially doing these Facebook Live shows, it can be challenging at the very beginning, especially if you're just talking to a camera and if nobody ever shows up. But when you have an idea what you're going to talk about, would you have a topic and some bullet points, then it becomes much easier, especially if someone's engaging you. And if you have somebody that comes to your house and just turns the camera on and they're having a conversation with you, I wish, you know what, I love it when people have me on their shows, because it's like, oh, I don't have to prepare for anything. All I got to do is show up. They're going to ask me questions. I just get to tell stories and give value. It's so much easier than hosting a show. I'll tell you that.
So true, so true. Well, even to this day, when I do my Facebook Lives, that they help me with the topics. And I usually get off on a tangent. I just need something to get me started.
Yes.
So some people are worried about that. They think, well, it's got to be all me. No, it doesn't have to be all you. They know questions that people ask, stuff like that. They see the comments, and it's awesome to have people to work with that way.
Yeah, exactly. So Edna, going back to our interview questions, what prompted you to start Profit in the Prairie's Real Estate Group and the Prairie Real Estate Forum? And so what prompted you to start those? And then how have they helped you grow your business?
Well, the reason we wanted the Profit in the Prairie's, we call it Profit in the Prairie's Real Estate Investment Group, is because we wanted a group. Like, I've been a RAIN member actually since 2007. So before we ever bought our first property. I get value from them every month. I get their CDs. I still get CDs just because I like to listen when I'm in my vehicle. I have too much to listen to on the computer when I'm at home. And they provide great value. I love everything that they do. So I thought I wanted them to actually come to our city and start a group, and they weren't willing. They do everything. They do Alberta and BC, Ontario, but they weren't coming to Saskatchewan. So I thought, well, I'm just going to take what I learned from them and share it here. But the biggest thing is because we want to hang out with like-minded people who are doing the same thing we do. Right. So that was why we started it. We meet a lot of great people there. There's people that come, they might initially think that they want to be a real estate investor, and they might just turn out to be your investor, because they realize that there's more work involved than thought, Yeah. So that was the reason for the monthly meetings that we have. And then I started to do my 3-day event. It was my coach I was working with. He suggested that I do one. He said it's a great experience to get people on stage, or to get you on stage talking to people. You've got a lot of value to share. And so I listened to him and bit the bullet and invited a bunch of people out. And you know what? I just love that atmosphere too. I love listening to other people, and I learn. I sit in the audience and I learn just like everyone else. So I don't want to be the one on stage the whole time. I want to, do my part, and then I want to sit in the audience and learn from the rest. So the speakers that I invite out are people I want to learn from just as much as other people do.
Excellent. And if you're just joining us, I'm speaking with Edna Keep. Edna has a dedicated passion for helping new and experienced real estate investors grow their real estate business and build a passive income lifestyle that gives them greater financial options and opportunities. Over the past 9 years, she has grown her real estate portfolio to over 437 doors with a value of $47 million. Now, while she continues to add doors to her portfolio, she now focuses her time on speaking to and coaching busy, everyday, hardworking people on how they can build their own wealth and opportunities through real estate. Edna provides coaching, mastermind sessions, and online training for her students and past students who combined have purchased over $100 million in real estate in the last 3 years. So please type any questions you want me to ask Edna, and I'll see if we can get to them before the end of the show. And if not, we'll answer them after the show, or if you're watching the replay, just tag one of us in the question. And also, please like, love, and share this video on your Facebook feed, as well as any business pages or groups you belong to. And I see there's a couple comments here. Amanda says she loves the Brent Butt story. It's hilarious, but so true. We begin to feel like we know people that we see on the screen very often. And Nobby says, but you're a star now, John. So thanks, Nobby, for the kind words. Nobby's a fellow guest of mine from Australia. So Edna, can you tell us a little bit more about, with your coaching business, tell us a little bit more about the types of people you help and how you help them, and some of the typical results maybe your private clients get?
Sure. I started my coaching program because people were always asking me how we built our portfolio so quickly. So I initially invited a few people out, just my basement, and I told them what mastermind I belonged to, and that I was starting my own mastermind, and wondered if they would be interested in joining. So one of the things that I find is, first of all, most of them stay with me into the multi-year program. The good education there, but the masterminding is huge. And that, again, I got from the Think and Grow Rich book. Pulling minds together who can think outside the box together. And it is absolutely, it's fun. It's fun to be around people like that. And the results that they're getting, well, like you said earlier, the group of them now own over $100 million worth of real estate. I can show people how to skip the whole fix and flip a house, get myself a second job thing, and work towards passive income long term. So they can do it part-time. It's not something that they have to give up a job and do. They can do investing in apartment buildings part-time. Right. And I've got students that, I'll give you an example of these two 20-year-olds that are working with me right now. They started with me in May. They own a 12-unit apartment building, cash flowing about $5,000 a month, and they're going to take possession of two more this month, very, very similar. And they're 20 years old. They still live at home. They don't have a mortgage. They have car payments. They had a job. They actually decided that they wanted to be full-time real estate investors. They asked their parents for help. They said, "You're paying for education for other family members. This is going to be my education." So, and I thought that was brilliant. So I'm helping people buy apartment buildings with other people's money, 20-year-olds, 50-year-olds, 60-year-olds. And it's so exciting to see when the lights come on that, oh my gosh, I can do this, as opposed to maybe buying one house a year or something like that.
Right. Excellent. So do you have one specific success story that you can tell us just quickly?
Well, you know what? They're a great success story, but I'll tell you about another one. Two brothers actually started with me last fall, and they met and bought their first apartment building from another member of my mastermind. The other member was from Saskatchewan. These two fellows were from Manitoba. And they were wanting to downsize their portfolio outside the province because they had bought a resort in Roatan. And so they met at the event, at the mastermind, and within a few months, that transaction happened. And they got in with none of their own money. They got a vendor take back from the seller, which is so cool. We always tell people that get a vendor take back whenever you can. So within that one was maybe within 4 months of starting that they bought their first 30-unit apartment building. And just one more, just for quickness. I had a teacher start with me this spring. And he said, "Okay, I'm off the summer. I need to fast track your program." So he actually got my 90-day to 5K program. And instead of getting it once a week, we made a deal that as soon as he got his homework back to me, I'd send him the new week. And he was okay with listening to the recordings. You know what? Within 6 weeks of starting, he had bought 2 houses with investors. And he had properties before, but he hadn't used other people's money. $1,100 a month cash flow within 6 weeks of joining.
Wow, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So Edna, you have an event coming up really soon. So can you tell us a little bit about your event? I know I've already posted the link in the comments section for anybody who's interested. But can you tell us a little bit about the upcoming event and who should be attending, who you have coming in for speakers, maybe just a couple of the top speakers you have coming in?
Sure. So the event is March 27th, 28th, and 29th, right at the end of the month, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And some of the speakers I have coming in I have Barry McGuire. He's a lawyer out of Alberta who does agreements for sale. So I'm very excited. And we bought apartment buildings under agreements for sale. But Barry has a very unique way of teaching it. And one of them, I'm a selfish person. I invited him because I really want to learn from him. So him and his wife are going to be there. That one I'm really excited about. I'm also in another course right now about learning how to buy businesses without your own money. And so I wasn't able to get the speaker to come in. He's from the UK. He tried, but he had conflicting times. So he's going to do a recording and then have a live Q&A with the group. So I'm excited about that. And then plus I have a couple people who are coming and we're talking strictly on mindset, because the whole theme this time is about mindset, because I really believe, especially if you're dealing with investor money, that your mindset has to be right and strengthened and stronger. And so the theme is mindset. I have a couple mindset specialists coming in to speak and show us how to really master that. And so I'm really excited. We've got about 15 different speakers. We've got about 20 different booths that are going to be there where people will have the ability to still work with any of these people if they want to, if they're interested. It's going to be a very interesting lineup. We've had great feedback and response from the events that we put on.
Excellent. So like I said, I've already posted that the link in the comment field. If you're interested, just click on the link, as well as all of Edna's contact information is in the comment section as well. So if you want to connect with Edna on any of her programs, check out her website on any of her coaching programs, or attending the event the end of this month, please check out the links there. And this Thursday as well, I have a webcast coming up this Thursday at 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, and it is on accelerating your authority, how you can get attention and turn the viewers into clients. So if you haven't done so, I've put the link in as well for you to attend if you'd like to attend the webinar that I have coming up. It's geared towards entrepreneurs, business owners, authors, experts, and speakers on how you can grow your business, grow your brand, your field of expertise, your income, serve more people, and make a bigger impact in people's lives by getting attention, and then converting that attention into clients. So Edna, I want to thank you very much for being on the show and sharing your journey with us. Like I said, I've posted all your contact links in the comments field. So everyone show Edna some love by hitting that like button, the love button. And as always, make sure that you share this with your friends, associates, and anyone on your business page. And so Edna can share her message and potentially help some other people who are looking to get into real estate investing. So Edna, I want to thank you very much for being on the show and joining us and sharing your message with us today.
Well, thank you very much for having me, John. It was my pleasure.
Excellent. And for everybody else, just stick around. I'll be right back with some closing remarks. Well, thanks for joining me on today's John A. McCabe Show, where we work with entrepreneurs, business owners, authors, experts, and speakers get seen, get heard, get noticed anywhere, anytime, on any device. Now, also known as the Authority Acceleration Blueprint. Now, if you're someone who's looking to take your business to the next level and want to get some coaching advice, why not apply to be a guest on today's show? Now, for most entrepreneurs, we want to create a life of our own, create our own path, and do what we can to reach our own desired outcome, which is generally freedom. Freedom to choose what we want to do, when we want to do it, and with whom we want to do it. A life that's full of options and choices, where we worry less about money and more about the quality of time that we spend with others. Now, a great way to make that happen is to leverage other people's knowledge, time, and skill sets. Step one to reaching our freedom life is to realize that you can't do it alone. Working with a coach or being involved in masterminds is a great way for entrepreneurs to move their business forward. Now, a coach can help you shorten the time frame to get you from where you are to where you want to be, while being part of a mastermind is meant to bring entrepreneurs together, all with the goal of helping each other move forward with their business. Now, the second step to creating the life you envision for yourself as an entrepreneur is to implement systems into your business so you can streamline your operations, leverage systems, and free up your time to focus on your family, having fun, and the highest leverage activities in your business. You know, the activities that get you the biggest return on your time invested, the ones that truly make you money. Now, sometimes we just don't know what systems we need, how to implement those systems, or even have the time to find out what is needed. Now, working with a coach or consultant that understands, uses, and specializes in systems that can streamline your operations can help save you time, aggravation, and make you a lot more money. Now, for example, having a system or strategy that allows you to leverage just 15 hours of your time into enough repurposed content to get you seen, get you heard, get you noticed anywhere, anytime, on any device is a great example of leverage. Now, just imagine a system where you invest just 15 hours of your time, and the end result is you're a #1 best-selling author. You have enough content that's going to get you seen, get you heard, get you noticed anywhere, anytime, on any device. You have a successful podcast. Now it's automatically attracting more attention, giving more value, and generating more leads, which enables you to attract an abundance of paying customers. Now this is also known as the Authority Acceleration Blueprint. Now to find out more about the Authority Acceleration Blueprint coaching program or mastermind, then contact me via my website at johnamccabe.com or connect with me through my show's Facebook page. Now again, thank you for joining us on today's show, and I look forward to seeing you on tomorrow's show when I have another great guest on discussing their business and accelerating their authority. So have yourself an amazing day, and I look forward to seeing you again real soon.